Hi, this is Tracy from Snazzy Moon Designs. Today I'm going to make this video. I promised about making a seam line that's almost invisible. And this is how I do mine. First I take my design and I wrap it around my tumbler. Now you want it to overlap probably about a 1/16 to an 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to get one piece of tape, and I tape it in the middle. I make sure it's nice and tight, and I do that middle one like that. Then I get another piece of tape, and I tape a little bit further down. Make sure it's pulled tight, like that. Another one, same thing, tight like that. And one more right here. I leave the ends for the wrap. And take your thumbnail, just kind of get the edge of that line right there on each piece of tape. Okay. Next, what I do is I get a whole length of tape like this. If I can find the end of it. Okay, and I take it, I cut the whole length of tape. Don't apply it at first, just measure it. You don't have to push it down right away. Just cut it a little longer. And then what I do is first I push the end around like this, hold right here, pull nice and tight on my tape, and then just run my thumb up it like that. And then push the top around. And kind of smooth it out. Okay, obviously you're going to run your thumb down this top seam. I call it the top seam. Just like that. But the secret is, this is not where that line shows. Your line actually shows on the seam that's underneath. I call it the back seam. So you have to find that and run your thumb nail down that back seam too. That's the seam that is showing you the white line. Just make sure you find that seam and run your thumb down it, just like that. And if you look, you can see the actual overlap. That's about 1/8 of an inch overlap. So I've got both sides of that. A lot of people do the front side, but they don't do the back of the seam. Okay, once you've done that, then you can go ahead and wrap your ends. So I just take a piece of tape, kind of split it halfway, and then go around the end. You don't have to pull it real tight because it'll crease up your bottom. It's going to wrinkle a little bit, but just the way the tumbler is made. Cut that, smooth it out, then kind of like get the bottom, just like that. Kind of smooth it all out. You're going to see some wrinkles. Try to work them out. Alright, then you take another piece of tape. Just put another piece over this piece, but you just kind of go to the edge of the paper this time. And then pull that around nice and tight. Okay. Cut it. Smooth it out. A lot of pressure. All right, then we're going to do the top. Same way. Get your piece of tape. I start like at the seam. And then wrap around the top. Yeah. Just like that. Cut that piece. Smooth it out. When I cut my design, I cut mine so it's even with the top. Some people make it a little longer and then trim it, but I like mine to be even to start off with. And then the bottom I leave just a little gap around the bottom because it's hard to get it around that one corner. Anyway, you fold your tape over like that around the top. Make sure it's nice and smoothed out. Then you put another piece on there. Just like this. And this one will just go to the top of the paper like the bottom. And just pull it nice and tight. Just like that. Until it overlaps. Put it. Smooth it out. Okay, so now we got the double line, both sides of the overlap, front and the back. Okay, you got your top, you got your bottom. Now, what I do is get some shrink wrap. Shrink wrap for this tumbler. Put your hand in it like this. And then just go over top like that. Slides right on. So space it. Lay it down. Get your heat gun. Start heating it up. Don't get it too hot right away. You just kind of want to work it. See it start shrinking. You see it shrink, then you just do one end like this. Around. Do one end like this. And then the rest of it. Make sure you get your seam really well. Just don't melt your plastic over your shrink wrap over the seam. It looks pretty good. You get your shrink wrap nice and tight. And then you're going to put in your oven. We're going to pause it for right now until the oven warms up. So our convection oven is heated up, ready to go. Obviously everybody's temperatures are going to be different. We do ours at 350 for 5 minutes. So you take your tumbler. I like to put mine, start out seam up. Put it in here, make note of your time. Put in there, put it in there, and in 2.5 minutes, I'll turn it. Okay, we're approaching 2.5 minutes, which is halfway through my 5-minute cook time. So, halfway through, we take and turn the seams so they're facing down. And just let it go for another 2.5 minutes. We'll see you in 2.5 minutes. Okay, we're approaching our 5-minute cook time, which will be 54 minutes because I started at 59. But I like to let it go for an extra 15 seconds just because of the opening and closing halfway through the cook time. So I just let it run down to 53, 45. I mean, you don't have to be exact. 15 seconds is not going to hurt it. All right, got our cook time. Turn that off. Get our tumbler. What I do is I like to put mine in water and cool it down, just like that. Let's cool it down. You can see the design has came through the paper, which is a good sign. See it come through. All right. Now for the fun part, taking the wrap off. I haven't found a good way to do this yet. I just start cutting it off if I can. Well, that one actually worked right that time. They usually don't. Right off. Take off the shrink wrap. Okay, then I take a little knife and I carefully cut my top tape. Try not to cut all the way through the paper. I carefully cut my bottom tape. I'm going to cut on the overlap section if you can. Okay. Peel off your bottom tape. Okay. Peel off your top tape. Okay. I like to just pull down the middle like that. And then we do the reveal. Obviously you're going to have some paper stuck on there. I usually do. So I take a wet, just dip the rag in some water. Just get a little bit damp. Just wipe that paper off. It's kind of stuck around the edges. Top. And stuck around the edges at the bottom. Just like that. And now let's see how that seam turned out. I can tell the seam was right here because of the slight. But if you look, no seam line. I mean, right there's the seam. But it's perfect, like it should be. And that's how I do my seams on my tumblers. I hope this helps you with your next tumbler.